Welcome to Ann David's Inspiration today, and we are continuing with consistency. And last time we said consistency is doing an activity repeatedly or committing yourself to a task. So today we continue, and probably today I'll take a little bit longer than my usual 3 minutes or 2 minutes, because I need us to look a bit into why consistency and what happens when we become consistent. Just to remind us, when you talk about consistency, it's being dedicated to carry out a task or an activity in order to complete a task. In this case, we are not talking about the time frame, but it basically means you're committed to finish the task. And then this commitment we make to ourselves as well as to others. Reason why sometimes it's good to, mention to other people, it's because it gives you an aspect of accountability. So if I say I'll be running every morning, my family will ask me, how come you didn't run today? Of course, I've not been running every morning, but maybe one of these days. Okay, a commitment we make to ourselves and others. And so, for example, when we talk about, consistency, I remember when I started driving, every time, of course, like maybe 2-3 weeks being on the road, on Nairobi roads, it would always freak me out when I think of getting into that car alone to wherever I was going. But over time, I became a seasoned driver. Okay, at least that's what I think. Yeah, because I can drive in and out of the city. And so far, it doesn't freak me out. It's amazing that now it's the opposite. When I think of not driving to wherever, I'm almost like, no, okay. No offense to those who use the matatu, but I'm just saying now it's the opposite. Why? Because consistently having to drive every day, I became a pro to a large extent. Then the other example I would give about how to develop consistency is that when I learned to type, for those of you that know how to type, you know what it means to type with the manual typewriters. I remember my fingers would get stuck in the middle of the keyboard, and so it was not easy. So, but I remember with time, I learned to type without looking at the keyboard. And today, thanks to God, I can type without looking at the keyboard. And that came about because of me being consistent. So, quickly, let's go through some of the reasons why we should be consistent. One, it helps you to develop self-control. There's a way that human beings are created that you touch on this task, then you let it go, then you touch on this one. But when you're consistent, there's a way that you stay focused. You're not sidetracked. And then the other thing is that it builds a higher level of trust. And when you trust yourself, it will be very possible for other people to trust you. Have you ever heard of people say, I don't think I'm able to do this. I don't want to commit. Why? Because they know they will not keep the word. But when you're consistent, there's a level of trust you develop within yourself that is transferable even to the other people that you could be working with or you're likely to work with in the future. The third reason why consistency is important is that consistency makes you and me relevant. How is that? Think of the person that is known for selling a particular product. So what usually happens if you go there and you get good customer service, chances are you will not go to another place. For the ladies, your hairdresser, how many times you change your hairdresser in a year? But if you went today, you find your hairdresser is making clothes, then you go next week and you find they are making mandazi. I mean, at the end of the day, you'll be like, you know what? I can't deal with this. But this, most likely the person you began with 5 years ago, unless you've changed where you live, it is the same person you're with. And I know I'm speaking the truth to a large extent, especially to the ladies. So consistency makes you relevant, especially in business. And that is why you need to stay, consistent. And then it can fast track your improvement or development area, and it leads to progress. So for example, if you have been working on a particular area of your life, for example, mental development or building yourself up through reading, you can say from January to May, I've read 1 book, I've read 0 books, or I've read 10 books. So that is how you're able to know whether you've maintained consistency. And of course, the last point is it helps you to stand out or to be noticed. Small actions carried out repeatedly will amount to big results over time. And that is how you're able to differentiate yourself from the bandwagon or from the group. Why I say this is, look at the people that have mastered the art of anything. They didn't just start and throw in the towel or give up, but they continued and continued and continued. Even sometimes when there are so many discouragements along the way, they did not give up. And so today I want to say, let's stay consistent in whatever it is that we choose to pursue. Sometimes the beginning may not be good. I mean, there are times you look at what you've done and you're thinking, wow, I can't even show this to the world. But later on with time, you actually laugh at it and say, wow, this was humble beginning. So let's remain consistent. And of course, as I finish, when we don't develop consistency, the chances of achieving what we want will be very minimal. So I do hope you get to pick at least one point that will help you on being consistent. And again, subscribe to my channel. You can also share, and above all, watch out for the next video where we'll be talking about practical ways on how you can be consistent. Thank you so much, and see you next time.